You go to bed feeling fine, but by morning, something's wrong. Your hand won't move. Your words come out twisted. You see your spouse, but can't say their name. No pain, no warning, just a silent stroke in your sleep. And what triggered it? Not smoking, not sugar, but a so-called healthy snack. The same handful of nuts you've trusted for years. As a brain doctor, I've seen this too often, and what I uncovered still stuns me. 5 common nuts, when eaten at the wrong time, can quietly thicken your blood, raise pressure, and trigger a stroke, all while you sleep. This isn't fear-mongering. It's a wake-up call. Because your next midnight snack could be the reason you don't wake up.
Most people watch their health during the day, but the real danger often strikes at night. Here's a startling fact. More than 1 in 4 strokes in older adults happen during sleep. Silently, with no pain, no warning. You drift off feeling fine, but beneath the surface, your body begins to shift. As night falls, your blood pressure rises, a natural part of your circadian rhythm. Your blood thickens from mild dehydration and lack of movement. And your aging arteries, stiffer, more fragile, can no longer absorb the pressure. It's like thick syrup pushing through brittle pipes. One small surge, and something gives. That's when clots form, or worse, a vessel bursts. And by morning, the damage is done. But there's another piece to this puzzle. What you eat before bed could be silently lighting the fuse.
You've always heard nuts are good for you, and they are, but only in the right context. After age 60, your body doesn't process fats, minerals, or salt the same way. What nourished you in your 40s could quietly harm you in your 70s. Let's walk through 5 popular nuts that might be betraying your brain one bedtime snack at a time. Brazil nuts. Selenium, the silent overload. Let's start with a nut so nutrient-rich, it quietly becomes toxic. Brazil nuts. They're packed with selenium, a trace mineral your body only needs in small amounts. The recommended daily limit for seniors? Just 55 micrograms per the NIH. But 2 Brazil nuts can give you over 200 micrograms, nearly 400% of what's needed. Now imagine eating that before bed when your body is slowing down and detoxifying less efficiently. Selenium isn't water-soluble like vitamin C. You can't just flush it out. Your body stores the excess in your liver, blood, even your brain. Over time, this builds up, making your platelets more sticky, more prone to form clots. Imagine nighttime traffic in your bloodstream. Selenium sends out a silent red alert, causing blood cells to clump and clog. And if just one tiny clot finds its way to a fragile artery in your brain, it could trigger a silent stroke while you sleep. One 2014 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirmed the link between excess selenium and higher stroke risk, especially in seniors with kidney issues or high blood pressure. And here's the hidden risk. Many older adults already take multivitamins with selenium, then add Brazil nuts as a healthy evening snack. That's risk on top of risk. If you're over 60, especially on blood thinners or managing hypertension, Brazil nuts at night are more than a bad idea. They're a silent threat to your brain.
2. Salted almonds. The sodium spike before sleep. Almonds are a favorite snack, low in sugar, full of good fats and magnesium. But when they're roasted and salted, especially eaten late in the day, they become a silent threat to seniors' cardiovascular systems. Just one small handful, around 20 pieces, packs over 200 milligrams of sodium.
That's over 20% of the daily recommended limit for older adults, according to the American Heart Association, which advises under 1,500 milligrams, ideally 1,000 milligrams for those with high blood pressure or heart disease. Here's the problem. Salty snacks increase blood volume by holding on to more water. In younger bodies, this can be managed. But after 60, with stiff arteries and declining kidney function, this volume spike can trigger dangerous blood pressure surges between 3 and 5 a.m., the brain's most vulnerable window. And here's what you won't feel. There are no symptoms. You sleep through it, but tiny brain vessels may already be leaking or clotting. Salted almonds are also addictive. One handful becomes 2, pushing your sodium intake past 500 milligrams, all without noticing. For those on blood pressure meds or experiencing leg swelling, this late-night salt load acts like a circulatory time bomb. Salt doesn't just flavor your snack, it stirs your blood awake when your brain needs peace to rest and heal. Better choice? Plain, raw almonds, soaked, eaten earlier in the day, alongside water to support hydration and balance.
3. Cashews. The oxalate burden. Cashews may look innocent, creamy, comforting, and heart-healthy. But hidden beneath that smooth texture is a troubling compound: oxalates. Oxalates are natural in many plant foods, but cashews rank high in oxalate content. For younger bodies, this isn't a big deal. But after 60, when kidneys filter less efficiently and blood vessels repair slower, oxalates become a silent burden. Once consumed, oxalates bind with calcium to form tiny crystals. These crystals settle in the kidneys and blood vessel walls, quietly causing irritation and inflammation. Picture them as microscopic sand grains cutting through your inner pipes. Over time, they stiffen arteries, thicken blood, and slow circulation, conditions that increase clot risk during sleep when blood flow already slows. For seniors dealing with kidney issues, dehydration, or medications that affect calcium metabolism, cashews can amplify the danger. A bedtime handful may seem harmless, but it can quietly tilt your chemistry toward a stroke. What to do? Eat cashews earlier in the day in small amounts with water. Or choose lower oxalate alternatives like macadamias or pumpkin seeds. Because after 60, what your tongue enjoys, your brain may pay for while you sleep.
4. Sunflower seeds, the invisible hemorrhage risk. Sunflower seeds feel harmless, small, crunchy, even healthy. But for adults over 60, they hide a dangerous trio: high sodium, excess omega-6 fats, and mindless overeating. First, they're often heavily salted. Just a handful can outsalt a bag of chips. And because they're tiny and addictive, you easily consume 3 to 4 servings without noticing, especially in front of the TV. Second, sunflower seeds are packed with omega-6 fatty acids. While not inherently bad, the modern diet already overloads us with omega-6s, which fuel inflammation, especially in fragile aging blood vessels. Third, most are roasted in cheap industrial oils, raising oxidative stress and compounding vessel damage, especially at night when blood pressure fluctuates and arteries stiffen with age. Picture your brain's capillaries like thin glass tubes. When inflamed and under pressure, even a tiny spike can crack them, leading to silent brain bleeds that don't cause pain but chip away at memory, balance, or speech. If you've got high blood pressure or a history of hemorrhagic stroke, even healthy seeds like these can quietly push your brain into danger, especially at night. Instead, try unsalted pumpkin seeds or soaked chia and enjoy them during the day, because sometimes the smallest seeds leave the deepest scars. 5. Walnuts, brain food in the wrong hour. Walnuts are a true brain food. rich in omega-3s, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory compounds that support memory and protect against cognitive decline. But after 60, timing changes everything. In the morning, walnuts sharpen focus and boost heart health, but before bed, they may quietly undermine your brain. Here's the issue. Fats take longer to digest, so when you eat walnuts late, your body sends blood to your stomach, pulling it away from the brain, just when it needs full support for overnight repair. Worse, digesting fat also spikes cortisol, your stress hormone. That disrupts deep sleep, which is essential for memory consolidation and nighttime blood pressure control, both already fragile in older adults. Think of walnuts like thoughtful guests, great during the day, but too demanding for midnight visits. They ask for energy and blood, resources your brain needs to rest and heal. And poor sleep isn't just tiring, it's linked to stroke, memory loss, and immune decline. So a healthy snack, if mistimed, becomes a hidden disruptor. The fix? Enjoy walnuts earlier in the day when digestion is strong and your brain is ready to use their benefits. Because the right food, at the wrong hour, becomes the wrong food. By now, you might be wondering, why does the body become so vulnerable to stroke while we sleep? Why do certain snacks, especially to answer that, we need to look inside the aging body, into the bloodstream, the arteries, and the invisible shifts that happen during the night. As we age, 3 key systems begin to change, often silently. 1. Blood pressure becomes less predictable. In a healthy young person, blood pressure dips at night and rises smoothly in the morning. But after 60, this rhythm begins to break down. Many seniors experience nocturnal surges, sharp, unpredictable spikes in pressure between 3 and 5 a.m. These surges can rupture fragile arteries, especially if those arteries are already inflamed or narrowed from years of poor diet, high stress, or inactivity. 2. Blood gets thicker and slower at night. Our blood is not water. It's a living river, made up of cells, proteins, fats, and minerals. During sleep, especially after dinner, this river becomes more viscous. Why? Because we move less, drink less, and our kidneys filter less overnight. If you're even mildly dehydrated, your blood thickens. Add in certain foods, high in fat, salt, or oxalates, and this blood can become sluggish, sticky, and prone to clot. 3. Arteries lose flexibility. Over time, our arteries lose their natural elasticity. They stiffen, just like old garden hoses left out in the sun. In youth, these vessels can expand and contract smoothly with each heartbeat. But after 60, they're less forgiving. A sudden rise in pressure, like from salty or fatty snacks at night, can cause microscopic tears or plaque rupture, triggering clots or hemorrhages. Imagine trying to push honey through a stiff, brittle straw. Now imagine doing it while you're asleep, unaware, with your brain relying on every drop of oxygen to repair itself. This is why nighttime becomes so dangerous. Your brain depends on steady, smooth blood flow during sleep to clear out toxins, consolidate memory, and heal cellular damage. But when that blood becomes thick, the vessels inflamed, and pressure unstable, the stage is set for disaster. And here's the part few realize. Strokes aren't always dramatic. Some are silent. They build slowly, clot by clot, pressure spike by pressure spike, memory lapse by memory lapse, until one day the damage shows up in your face, your speech, your balance. That's why it's not just what you eat, but when and in what condition your body is that makes all the difference. Here's the good news. You don't have to give up nuts. or live in fear of every snack. The goal isn't restriction, it's realignment. Eating in a way that works with your aging body, not against it. Let's start with timing. Eat nuts in the morning or early afternoon, when your digestion is active, blood flow is steady, and your body is fully alert. This is when your system can best absorb nutrients, process fats, and balance pressure without strain. Avoid late-night snacking, especially within 2 to 3 hours of bedtime. Even healthy foods can interfere with your brain's cleanup cycle if eaten too close to sleep. If you enjoy seeds, like chia or flax, soak them before eating. This reduces oxalates and makes them easier to digest. Soaked seeds also support hydration, gut health, and steady blood sugar. When choosing nuts, go for raw or dry roasted with no added salt or oils. Avoid prepackaged mixes labeled smoked, salted, or honey roasted. These often contain inflammatory fats and excess sodium. And one of the most overlooked habits? Stay hydrated, especially in the afternoon and early evening. Seniors often reduce fluid intake to avoid nighttime urination, but this can lead to thicker blood and higher stroke risk during sleep. A balanced hydration plan can be the difference between protection and pressure. Your snack should support your brain, not compete with it. The right food, at the right time, in the right body, that's the formula for aging well, with clarity, vitality, and peace of mind.
You've always been told that nuts are healthy, and that's still true. But after 60, it's no longer just about what you eat. It's about when, how much, and what your body can actually handle. Because your body isn't 30 anymore. Your arteries aren't as elastic. Your blood doesn't flow the same. Your brain doesn't recover as quickly. And that means one small change, like a handful of the wrong nuts at the wrong time, can ripple into something far bigger than you'd expect. So if you learned something today, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone over 60 who snacks before bed. Help them protect their brain while there's still time. Comment 1 if this made you rethink your routine, or 0 if you want to learn more. Let's start a conversation that could save lives. And if you're not yet subscribed, join us. This channel is here for people who care about aging well, who want honest, compassionate, science-backed guidance for life after 60. Because living longer only matters if your brain stays with you.